prefer to cut dry versus wet. A lot of y'all like to cut wet. Me personally, I do both. It just depends on what I'm doing. Also depends on the texture of the hair. Okay, let's get started. First, I want to say good morning to everybody. I'm really glad to have you guys out today. I kind of need this as much as you guys did, kind of restore my passion for what I got going on. Because like last week I was out of here, so I needed this. I needed y'all today. So I'm gonna start out by introducing myself. My name is Monika. In the industry, most people call me Mo. It's okay either way, as long as you don't call me Monika, we'll be all right. I've been in the business legally for 21 years. And I got my license, Dudley, Chicago campus. We got any Dudley alumni in here? Okay. So you already know that a few things about Dudley is they're big on professionalism, customer service, and retail. So I'm going to go over a few of those things this morning. Because what I'm seeing in the industry is a lack of professionalism, which is a lack of passion, a lack of love, and it's showing in our work. Okay? And I also am going to, like I said, cover a little retail. I know every class I've ever took, they always retail. I want to say, I think back in the Dudley days, it was like a prerequisite. Like, if you ain't know how to retail, you wouldn't get your license. That's how they made us feel. But at the end of the day, I'm going to say I appreciate it because retail has saved me on many occasions. I also, from getting my initial license at the Chicago campus Dudley, I ended up going to Greensboro to the main Dudley University to get my master cut certification. Once upon a time, Dudley offered programs for specialization. So if you wanted to be a colorist, it was an intense boot camp just for color. So they also had it for cutting, and I did attend that course. It was a week long, every day, 12 to 15 hours a day, nothing but cutting. Okay? That is what allows me to stand here today and be able to tell you guys what I'm telling you. All right? Let's see. My biggest thing in cutting is what I like to refer to as the 3 T's. If you know these 3 T's, you can never go wrong. Tools, techniques, textures. Okay? There's an old saying, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. My job is to get y'all to eat for a lifetime. All right? I have been in Atlanta now for 6 years. September will be 6 years for me. I'm going to be honest with you guys and say it was a hard road. This was the hardest city for me to get set up in. I don't know what it is about Atlanta, but it was really, really difficult. And even being here 6 years, I still see the roller coaster. And I feel like as a veteran, what I'm seeing with the new stylists, like I said, is a lack of love, a lack of professionalism, a lack of passion. And us as veterans, I feel like we need to kind of reach back and grab one, reach one, teach one. It makes a difference. A lot of the stylists now are charging just to be able to mentor these young ladies, but they need us, young ladies and men. They really, really need us. They don't have a clue. And it's affecting us, the veterans that have been out here forever, and what we understand is there's a big difference between a customer and a client. A major, major difference. And I don't know about you guys, but I was brought up in an era where I wanted clients. Clients are repeat clientele. Customers are usually searching for sales. Okay? That being said, I think everybody has to find their niche. That's the other saying, a jack of all trades, a master of none. You can still be a jack of all trades and have a master of one. So because I love what I do some of everything, but I feel my most creative. I get excited when I'm cutting. And not just cutting, but what I like to call my blank canvases. Those would be our makeovers. When they come in and they just hair all over the place and I don't know what to do, I'm just over it. But when they give me that, no, do what you do. Man, it's like green light. It's like getting dollar signs in my eyeballs. They get all glossy. I get excited. And that allows me to express myself creatively. One of the other things that I've noticed is a lot of stylists, they're constantly saying, I do hair. I do hair. Whereas I feel like if we change our mindset and know that we are running businesses, it'll make all the difference in the world. So I have never, not today, not last week, not tomorrow, been a beautician. I refuse to be known as one. I am a hair designer, a hair stylist, a cosmetological entrepreneur. Point blank and period. I'm running a business, and once you get that mindset, your money comes in different. Okay? So now let's get into some of these products. Like I said, right today I am representing K&B. Any of you ladies ever used it? You heard of it? How many use it? How you like it? What do you use in the line?
The amino acid treatment and the serum.
The serum, okay. Somebody over here.
Detox cleaner.
Yes. The detox cleaner? Oh, okay, I didn't use the detox cleaner. How does that work for you? Really like it? Okay.
Even on your face.
Even on your face? Okay. Okay. All right. So what I did for her, like I said, I actually relaxed her Friday. And the relaxing system that I used was a naked. The reason I chose naked, the reason I work with naked is because I like the amount of moisturizers that are in that particular relaxer system. So it's not going to leave her hair heavy. Because it has so much shea butter in it, I don't really have to worry about her burning, even though I still use a timing system when I do all my relaxers. Okay? So we got her pretty straight. We still went back in and I used the K&B moisture conditioner. Love that stuff. So I don't know what it is about it, but I can feel on the, like, behind maybe, even on an instant condition, 3 to 5 minutes, I can feel a difference in her hair strength. I can feel the moisture in it. That impressed me. And I'm kind of hard at it. When it comes to my products, I'm old school, so I kind of get with the product line and I stick with it because I end up learning the ingredients, learning how it works, and if I fall in love with it, that's what it is. Then from there, I used the Nutris foam, okay? And I even did that on her just as a, just for a blow dry. Yeah, it's pretty light and comparable to the Nairobi. Miss Darlene been trying to get me away from Nairobi forever. But I mean, you know, like I said, I'm stuck in my ways. I like it, I love it, I use it. But they convinced me to use it, and I like it. It's really light, it's not heavy, I didn't see any flaking, I didn't feel a residue on the hair, and I was able to get through it. But one of the other things that I don't have it up here, they have a blow dry spray. That stuff is the bomb on natural hair. Okay? I had a young lady walk in on me Saturday, and I was just like, whoa. I don't even do walk in. She snuck me, but I went on ahead and took her, and she had that snatchback. Like, it was real. And I was so tired. I was booked like crazy, and I was like, Lord Jesus, give me the strength. But after I did the clarifying shampoo, K&B has a great clarifying shampoo. I did not feel like it completely stripped her. You know, some of the clarifying shampoos, once you do that first shampoo, it feels completely stripped. Like you feel like all the nutrients of that hair is just gone. But you want it to be clean. You can feel the cleanliness, but you don't feel stripped. So I did the clarifying shampoo on her. Then I went back in with the moisturizing shampoo. And then I hit her with the conditioner. I didn't even give her a steam treatment or everything with the conditioner. I just gave her an instant conditioner, which was like 5 minutes. But then once I towel blot her, got all that water out, and I hit her with that blow dry spray, silked her right out. It was quick too. You tangled her up. And like I said, she had that spongy natural that with a snapback is real. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So far, I'm talking all K and B. The only thing that I haven't used that wasn't was the foam wrap, which is the Nutress. Let me get my life together. You know what? Can you get me the blow drying spray so they can see it?
Yes, ma'am.
I got you. Here it is. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It worked well as a detangler. So I was able to, like I said, once I towel block that hair, we can pass this around so you guys can see. Once I towel block that hair, I sectioned it in 4 sections. Just because for me, that's the easiest way for me to attack natural hair when it's overwhelming, is to section it. So I'm on almost everything I do, I work in sections. But this is it's a Victor blow drying spray. Okay, and like I said, once I towel block her, I sectioned her in 4 sections. I went on ahead and I was generous with the spray, combed it through, gave her 4 plats, set her under the dryer for about 10 minutes just to remove some of the moisture. And then once I pulled it out, that blow dry just came straight through. Okay, gave her a beautiful silk. After silking, for me, I think it's real important to have some type of a daily moisturizer. And the purpose of the moisturizer is to put your pH balance back where it needs to be. Because we all know between shampoos and different water levels, the pH balance in the hair is adjusted. Okay? We put them under the dryer and they come out. It's, even though they might not have a lot of product in there, the pH balance is still a little off. One of my go-tos is Caris. However, today we're talking about Caris. Now, I'm going to say something about this. I was impressed with this. This is the Cream Shine. And it's very, very light. We pass this around so you guys can kind of feel. But I used it as my moisturizer, okay? And I like it on my finer textured clients, okay? So that allows me to still get that pH balance kind of back in where I want it. It's going to give me some shine when I put the heat to it, and she's still going to have some movement. So long, short, I believe movement. Hard hair is a thing of the past. If y'all still sprinkling the mess out of this hair and snapping it off, y'all need whoopings. I'm just saying. So from there with the Cream Shine, and me personally, I'm very, very light with my products to the point that, oh, Miss Darlene back there be frustrated. She goes, you don't need no products today, girl, I'm good. Less is more. Especially when you're using professional products. Professional products usually tend to be highly concentrated, which means less is more. So as in comparison to what's being sold in the beauty supply store and what's being sold to our licensed stylists, there's a difference in concentration. Okay? And that's about it that I use as far as product, especially on my fine textured hair clients. From there, at the end, we have the spritz. I have not been a spritz user in years. I typically will go to a holding spray. And my go-to is the Sebastian Reshaper. And the main reason for me is the low alcohol content. That's the first thing, is the low alcohol content is going to give me that foundation in order for me to go ahead and sculpt the hair, but I'm still going to have the movement. The hair is not going to be hard, it's not going to be crispy, and I don't have to worry about it drying it out and snapping it off. But this right here, once again, they impressed me. It's a light hold spritz and a shine, actually. But it's very light, and I was impressed by the fact that when I sprayed it, I didn't feel like the hair was wet. That's the first thing. But like I said, once again, I'm sparing with my products. I spray from a distance and I spray throughout. I don't spray and curl like we used to do back in the day. But I'm gonna spray it and get it through. And when I took that iron through, I didn't feel like the hair got crispy at all. Okay, it was still very light, but I still had that hold in my styles. Okay. Then they have, let me pass this around too. Then they have, this is, I'm telling my age right now. The guava infused mix, don't y'all laugh. But this is a gloss. And we all know anytime they come in these small containers like this, it's closer to a syrup. So, but it's in a spray bottle, so it does spray out evenly, but it's thick, so I feel, sometimes I just spray back, or sometimes I just spray it in the air and let it mist out over the hair, and I'm still gonna get a beautiful shine without weighing that hair down. Okay? So from there, let's start talking about, I told y'all what I really wanted to get across today was tools, techniques, and textures. Those three things, if you got those three things in your foundation, you can accomplish any cut. Okay, because I get people in my inbox all the time, they want to do one-on-ones, but they want me to teach them one cut. Teach me how to do this cut right here. No, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna show you different techniques. I'm gonna tell you what your tools are so that you can put your own spin on whatever that cut is. Because once again, at the end of the day, we are artists. Okay? And there's nothing like them putting us in a box. When they come in with them pictures, I want this right here. And I want it just like this. Okay, well, man, we got 3 strands here. I know they think we magicians, but let's be realistic. Come on, ladies. So, for me, knowing the different techniques, I'm a why person. Let me back up. I'm a why. So I need to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing before I do it. Okay? And because I learn like that, I kind of teach like that. So we're going to start out with the shears. I get a lot of people that ask me, what kind of shears do I purchase? I think it's 3 different types of steel. There's 3 different types of steel. I pretty much go to either Japanese steel or cobalt. Okay? I love a heavier weighted shear, and that's just a preference for me. The Japanese steel can be kind of light, but it's going to be sharper. It's going to be sharper. Yes, ma'am. So, a lot of us, y'all know, a lot of people when we cut, their shears is like, they tell a story. Okay? And they like toys. You get excited, go to the hair show, and all of us sometimes we buy one more than enough. So I've always had people when I'm doing one-on-ones, they want to know why I got 20 pairs of shears. But each one of my shears do something different for me. So, like I said, the first thing would be knowing your skills. These are my Hanzos. These are my favorites. These are my go-tos. Okay? They're light, but they're Japanese steel. And when I tell you, I have had to warn clients, say don't move when I'm cutting because I'll slice through your ear if you want me to fit. I have done it. Not all the way through, but then it got a good nick, and it was like, oh, my bad, put a little pressure right here. But these are my go-tos. Matter of fact, this pair right here, they were named the glove, and they literally fit and feel perfect in my hand. So they are a 6-inch. Okay? My go-to is going to be a 6-inch, and that's just my comfort zone. Everybody has their comfort zone. I know stylists that only cut with 5-inch shears. When purchasing shears and knowing your different tools and techniques, you need to know typically when you're doing a shorter blade, like they're 5 inches, they are really good for point cutting. Okay? So say you're doing a short cut and you want to come in and you want a point cut up in here, but it's already short. Now I don't know if you guys remember in cutting class, the rule is to never cut past the knuckle. You know, we all do it because we run it through it or whatever. But that eliminates some of that if you have the right length in your blade. So 5 inches, that's what that's for. It's able to get in on that short hair and point cut it out. Okay? When I'm doing longer hair, then I'll go to a longer inch shear, which might be my 6-inch. Just depends on what I'm doing. Same thing, 7 inches. Then you have things like, we see these. It's like 10-inch. But these are barber shears. I'm also a barber. Okay? The purpose of the barber shears is just perfecting them afros. Getting them straggles, the straggle hairs. They be all over. Okay? That's just a little bit about the shears. Thinning shears. It's still good to have them, even though I know a lot of stylists that don't believe in thinning shears because typically most black women don't get their hair thinned out. But when you understand that thinning shears don't always mean thinning, they mean giving texture, okay? Then you'll know how to use that shear. You'll know how to shop for one. So even when shopping for them, they are the teeth, the spaces between the teeth is what's gonna let you know what you're doing. Okay? The wider the tooth, the more hair you're taking out. I mean, the wider the space, the more hair you're taking out. The closer, the less. So once again, we're gonna go back to the pixie, getting it to stand up. We all understand short hair push the long hairs. That's what helps that hair stand straight up without adding any product. If you know your tools, techniques, and textures, you can do a haircut, you can do a hairstyle, and not any product, and they can walk outside and be that chick. Okay? So I also may use my texturizer shears when I'm taking weight. If I'm doing a pixie and I'm taking weight out the sides. So that's another thing. I'm giving texture, I'm taking out weight. Okay? And that's just gonna give that smoothness on the sides. Okay? So like I said, I have about 20 pairs and I love my cutting implement. So even from there we're gonna go to razors. How many of y'all like using razors? I have also noticed today, I see a lot of stylists taking shortcuts. And they using those plastic disposable razors. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I do have some, but I use them for weave and weave on. Okay? For me, I like a heavy shear, but I like a light razor. Okay? Even with the razors, they have guards. I get a lot of people that say they're a little scared to use a razor. They're scared they're going to cut too much. But the blades themselves have guards on them. That allows you to know how much hair you're cutting out. But another thing is how you're holding it. So we're going to talk about that too. Fingers of elevation, degrees. I don't know, I'm going to skip over real quick. How many of you guys were taught finger elevation in cutting? Degrees. When I first got here and I worked with some stylists and they were asking me questions, they went to Empire, and Empire teaches positive, negative space. I've never heard of that, but what I did discover is nowadays more and more people are opening schools, and when you open your own school, you have to write to make your own textbooks. That being said, you're doing your own lingo, okay? So I don't know if anybody in here went to Empire and they cut negative, positive space. Okay, if I say anything that you don't understand, write it down and talk to me after class, and I'll see can I make it comparable to you so you understand. Because like I said, I'm going to do finger elevation and I'm going to do degrees. I don't know positive, negative space. Never heard of it, but we'll talk about it.
Well, I did have an educator too to talk to degrees, so.
Okay, okay, because I don't want anybody to feel lost in my lingo. So once again, so that's another thing with the razors. When I'm using a razor, that's another. I'm giving texture, I'm softening lines, and I'm taking out weight. Okay, which can still that could be accomplished with your texturizer shears. It could also be accomplished with your clippers. Okay. Anybody do shortcuts with clippers? Okay. Y'all use the clippers or y'all use the liners? Be honest. Clippers. Okay, so very good. Because I can't stand it to see people trying to cut hair with their liners. You would kill a blade with them liners. It's always important to maintaining your cutting implement, your shears. Check your tension screws. If you do a lot of hair cutting in the evening, you should be, when you get ready to shut down and clean up, check your tension screws. It makes a difference in your haircuts because if your tension is off, it could cause a bend in that hair while you're trying to cut. That's going to affect your whole haircut. Okay? One of the biggest ways to check your tension is when you pull that lever up and you let it fall, depending on how it falls. If it's falling too fast, that means your tension screw is too loose. okay? You also want to make sure you are oiling your blades on a regular basis. If you do a lot of cutting, blades should be oiled at least once a week, okay? It's very important, especially if you guys are spending a lot of money on your shears. Right, so my hair goes $1,200. My Damascus, $9. So the last thing I want to do is let the shear man come in the shop and sharpen my shears. All right? It's one of the worst things you can do. You got Monika shears, and whoever you bought them from, send them back to them, let them sharpen them so they don't thin out your blade. If your blade is too thin, it can chip in the middle of a haircut. That's going to make that hair blade bend. It's going to kill the whole cut. All right? If you want to pay attention to your points as well. If they're too pointy, you're tearing yourself up. If they're not pointy enough, it's going to kill you when you point cut. All right? I'm a gadget girl too, so one of my other favorite implements, finger razor. All right? It does the same thing as my other feather razor. The only thing is I have way more control because it's on my finger. When I use this, I'm typically on a pixie cut. And I may be coming in and I may just be giving a little texture right around the front, giving those little detailed pieces. That's pretty much all I use. What else I got? 7 inches. It's also too when you shopping for shears, trying your shears on, making sure your finger guards fit. If you need guards, you may not need guards. What does your pinky rest feel like? Is it detachable? Is it, is it plastic? What does it feel like? Some people like the ones with the opposable thumb. I have them. I don't really care for them, but it's supposed to help eliminate carpal tunnel. Okay? So, I think I have, clippers. Clippers and liners. Once again, like I said, I'm also a barber. So I do use my clippers a lot. Once upon a time, I was more partial to the masters. Y'all know what those, the silver ones, but they get hot really fast. So that made me switch over, and now I'm a wall girl. Love my walls. All right, and these are important too. Cleaning the blades, oiling them up. I use these when I want to get weight out. I use these, and these you can change the blade out. I also do graphics. So because I do graphics, I'm more partial to the T-blade. Knowing the difference in your blade and why you have them makes a difference in what you're doing when you cut. Okay? Before we get into this haircut though, do you guys have any specific questions as far as products or tools? Alright? Okay, but we're not going to drag the class on today because it's raining. I know y'all going to get out of here. So I want to make sure that I'm thorough. And I also want to let you guys know that I'm approachable and I'm available. If you have any questions, I'm going to pass out some cards at the end of the class. If it's anything that I can help you with, please reach out to me. Don't call me though, because I don't answer phone calls. I'm just saying. But you can inbox me, you can DM me, you can Facebook me. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to know, typically, how long does it take to
It depends. It usually depends on what I'm doing, what I'm dealing with as far as length, texture, and technique. And my techniques usually go on my mood. Because like I say, you see, I like my toys, I like my gadgets. So depending on what kind of mood I'm in is going to determine what kind of gadget I do. And then it also depends on my consultation. I will not touch you without a consultation. A lot of these babies, they're not doing consultations. You got to do a consultation so you can have some direction. What I know for sure is when you do a consultation, it allows the client to trust you. When they trust you and they're comfortable with you, they allow you to do what you do with artists. And like I said, I take this real serious on the artistry side. I do not appreciate being put in a box. Yo, let me go. Let me do what it is I do. I promise you'll get a way better result. As opposed to telling me, make me look like her. And you got 3 strands of hair. Give me some waves. I mean, stop. But y'all know they do it all day. And then they looking at you like you incompetent because you couldn't make it happen. And we dream a genie of it. That way. So anyway, but cut and style usually my clients is in and out an hour 15. So that includes the shampoo, the condition, the mold, the cut and the style, hour 15. Okay. So like I said, when we do this cut, I'm gonna try to give you guys several different techniques so that you can accomplish any cut. I'm going to do, a lot of people is calling that the faux hawk. I can't even say it, but that's what they call it. Some people is calling it an undercut. Some people is calling it the Kelly cut. Some people is just, they got various names for it. But it's up to you. When you know different techniques, you can put your own spin on it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Right? But right now, that's what's popular. And for me, I recognize all haircuts recycle. So in the real world, it's a mullet. Am I lying? It's a mullet all day. And I like for my cuts to be versatile. Meaning, I'm going to show you guys this when I do it on my clients, and I always tell them, if you decide you want to wear it as like the baby bob, you can, as an undercut. If you decide you want to wear exaggerated bang, you wearing your bang to the right, you can. You want to wear it to the left, you can. Because they need to be able to work that hair at home. Ain't nothing like them coming to see us and then they feeling like, I still don't know what to do with it after my curls fall. If you got a good cut, you should be able to rock anything. Alright? And the only bad part about that though with giving a good cut is you might not see them until the cut grow out. That's when, let me move into the retail. That's when the retail is gonna save you. I had my own salon in Chicago. Alright? And like I said, I went to Dudley and I swear part of the prerequisite is retail. Retail. But I will not lie to y'all, there were times when retail paid my utilities. At the end of the day, when they respect you and they trust you, they believe whatever you tell them. Whatever. If you tell them when the sun turns blue, you're going to get 3 inches of hair, I promise you they going to try it. That being said, ladies, you got to get this retail now. The Asians is killing us. We sending them to the beauty supply store and they buying everything under the sun. If you was to go to one of your clients' house right now and hit her bathroom cabinet, she got the whole beauty supply store over there. And none of it work. So she buying products, you know she buying products. Why not have her buying from you? Because they pay attention. I promise you they do. Back in the day, we was doing stuff like putting our products in no-name bottles, covering up the products because we was buying from the beauty supply store. But we licensed. We buying professional products. We investing in yourself. Get that retail in there. If I don't know nothing else, I know retail. They gonna buy it. Find out what it is that works for you and get them on the same page. Alright? Even when you get clients that say, well, girl, I'm going on vacation. But you still need the shampoo. Alright? I promise y'all. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. I'm real animated, real dramatic, but I'm not a liar. Now, retail has saved me on more than one occasion. If you use it, you should be selling it. Period. Alright. Enough talk. Let's get into this cut. Let's make some magic up here. Alright. It's okay, because I actually need her kind of high. That's another thing I see a lot of stylists that don't use their chairs. I don't know what's that about. I'm like, that's the whole purpose of it, lifting up and down so you can see. Yeah, but the biggest thing, when I do my one-on-ones with people too, the first thing is, I'm going to ask you what it is you want to receive from me. Coming to see me one-on-one, what is it you want? If you tell me, I just want you to show me this cut, you don't have a problem. But I'm going to break it all the way down for you. So then I'm going to have you start the cut so I can see. Sometimes a lot of it could be the way you're standing, the way you're holding that hair, or something even more simple as facing your client to the mirror. For whatever reason, Black stylists believe that clients should not be looking in the mirror when they get a haircut. And that is one of the biggest myths. Even when you go to the barber shop, you'll see that barber at some point, he's gonna step back, he's gonna look at that cut in the mirror. The reason is because he can see it differently in the mirror. It helps with your accuracy. And so when you're cutting, because I get a lot of stylists too, my cut is lopsided. It's got a lot to do with how you're standing. But if you're cutting in the mirror, it ain't even for them, it's for you. So you can see. When you pull this hair out, okay, well my right side is a little off, my left side, or I need it to come here. Knowing the parts of all her features, as far as her face and her head. So we all know too, from the point of the nose to the arch of the eyebrow up to the temple, right? Y'all know about that, right? You know hairline to nape, you know ear to ear, you know crown, and oh my God, how many stylists I done came across and don't know what this is. What is it? I love y'all. Let's roll with it. But I still cut using all of those parts. I have had people that when they see me cut, they don't think I have a guide. But I always follow those. Even from my parties to how I hold the hair to the way I stand, I'm going to use all of that. Arch of the eyebrow, temples, ear to ear, hairline to nape, okay? So, you ladies cut a mohawk before, correct? Everybody's cut a mohawk? Nobody? Okay, that just let me know I need to make sure I do it kind of slow. All right, so we're going to part this up as if we were cutting a mohawk. Hence the name Faux Hawk. Okay? So we're going to start out and we're going to do a U-shaped part, which means we're going to come from arch of the eyebrow, and then we're going to come all the way down towards the occipital and down to the neck. All right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to take out her sides. All her hair is going to be in the center. Okay? So I wish I had it. Another thing too, as far as tools is concerned, I had did a post one day. There was a video of me doing a haircut. I was using one of these. Y'all know what this is, right? Y'all be surprised. It sounds like I'm insulting y'all, but y'all be surprised how many y'all don't know. I had somebody go under my post. He was like, "Oh yeah, you know, we all be using them combs with the teeth missing." I said, "Man, this is a haircut comb. It's made like that. That's your part. That's your parting area." He's like, "Oh, I use that too. Combs without no teeth." I was like, "Boy, don't you tell nobody else that." And this is one too. Even knowing those parts of the head also plays a part because everybody's head shape is different. Now, if we were doing just if we were tapering it out all the way down here, instead of me coming down, I would come around her occipital. Okay, in that U-shaped part. But because our goal is to give her the exaggeration, the tail, or the shag, however you feel it, whatever you want to call it, instead of us going around the occipital, we just gonna come down into her neck. So, as I promised, I ain't got no sense. She just laughs the whole time. Before I really get into this too, she might be a little nervous. She ain't had a real cut in a long time. So I'm gonna have to kind of, soften it up on her. I don't want to traumatize her. Then she'll be in shop next week talking about, I don't know if I'm able to keep up, it's too short. So that's another too, where them consultations come into play. I mean, the whole visit, I always tell my clients too, that first visit is like a blind date. You try to feel me out, I'm trying to feel you out, see if we can continue. I have no problem firing a client. Y'all laughing, I'm so serious. So if y'all can tell, so first of all, she's kind of sparse in her temple. Okay, we're gonna cover that too. But you see where I came from, arch her eyebrow, and I took it around, okay, because of the way her head is shaped, and I brought that parting down almost to a point in her neck, okay? We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. If this was a regular mohawk, I would probably do zigzag partings around here. And because at that point I'm blending hair, but this is gonna be a real disconnected cut, so that's why I'm just doing straight lines, and we know straight lines give weight, and zigzag partings give softness. I'm looking even, y'all. My left side is higher. That look better? So that would be my first section. Now, if I was at the shop, what I really would have did was behind the shampoo, I would have parted this out and I would have molded her down and tied it up because I would want this to be good and flat. And the main reason I want it flat is because of how short I'm gonna go in and cut it. So once again, that's gonna depend on your client too. If they want enough length to curl, or some want it completely shaved, but some want it close and dark like mine. My hair is extremely close, but I go in and I cut my hair with the razor. Just so I can get that the appearance of almost no hair, but I need to keep it dark because I want to keep it fitted. Alright. So, that being said, if this had been molded, the first thing I would do is go in and cut. So I would do like my frame. Let me come around frame. Got it? Okay. Now, when I'm molding, I'm pretty much kind of molding it going forward. Definitely molding forward if she has sparse or no edges. Okay? Because what's going to happen is when we cut into this, we're going to point cut right up in here. We're going to over direct and we're going to point cut. Anybody know why? Right. We're going to over direct and point cut. The point cut is to give a softness because we don't want hard lines or lines of demarcation in the cut. We're going to over direct because we want the shorter hairs to push the longer hairs, and that's what's going to keep that hair pushing forward. Also, your foundation of molding going forward. That makes sense? Everybody following me so far? So with her, I'm gonna leave her just a little bit of length around in the side, but I'm taking it all out in the back. Okay? Like I said, the first thing would be me notching out. I would go and just kind of notch out a shape. So I always do like my outline and then go back in and do the cut. So then we kind of going up and coming around the ear. So just off that little bit right there, y'all already see what we're doing, right? Okay. So like I said, for her, even though her edges are not really sparse, I still want to give her some weight in here. Not a whole lot, but just enough to keep her feeling secure. Okay. She don't want to go too close. So the first thing, like I said, is we zigzag parting, pushing it forward, in my section, over directed. Okay? For me, just like I said, your body stance means a lot too. So I'm gonna get this over directing and trying to do this, it's gonna give you carpal tunnel and it's gonna hurt your back. So because I'm over directing, I'm gonna be at a 45 in the back of her head. And then I'm gonna come in and then I'm gonna knock that hair out. Point cut. Point cutting and notching, same thing. Brush it forward. Alright? So we still, even when you get people too, some people won't, when they start saying, okay, my sideburns is too long, they won't lay down, same thing. You're gonna take them up, over direct them. The only thing is you don't wanna keep that straight out. You wanna pull it, you wanna over direct it up. That's gonna keep your length. So at this time, you're just taking out weight and leaving length. Take it up, point cut it out, cut it back up. Alright? For the most part. But if down, I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna blunt cut. Because I'm just getting rid of it. Now, say this too. Back here in the back, where you get some people that they want that wispy look, where it's hugging the neck, where they want the detail. Because even with this particular cut, some people are wearing it like that. They keeping the detail, but they having the exaggeration in the center. Some are wearing it that some. My clients prefer for me to take all that out. I'm gonna show you both ways, but I'm gonna take hers out. Okay. Once again, it's the same thing because this is where your head starts to round off and taper out. Okay. Occipital nape. You still parting and over directing. Difference is now you can stand directly behind it. You can take that hair, over direct in front of you, and point cut it out. And you're doing that so that when you comb it forward, when you mold it, short hairs, push the long hairs, that's what gives it that hug. Okay? So even after, yeah, thank you. I was gonna get you. Even after, like say when you pull her out of the dryer, because once you've cut that and then molded it and you got it going this way, and you want to give it some extra detail, you want it more wispy, you can go in with your shear and you can slit her out. You can slit her out. Okay? That's why the shears need to be extra sharp. If you're uncomfortable with the slithering out, you can take your razor and come in and thin it out. Okay? Give it that wispy look. Alright? You can also, if this was molded and she wanted it real close, like mine, I come in with the razor. I'm going to hold that razor almost a 1. When I say 1, when you talk finger elevation, laying on the scalp is 0. Alright? Then you have, that's a 1. When you use a 1 finger, it's just take 1 finger away from the scalp, 2 fingers away from the scalp, 3 fingers. In comparison to degrees, on the scalp is still 0. Then you have 45, 90, and 180. Right? Okay. That being said, when you coming in with the razor, you kind of coming in at a 0. And you going in soft, because if you go in too deep, too fast, you're going to take out too much hair and they're going to get a hole. Okay? Same thing. Using the clippers. A lot of people use the clippers and they use guards. I cut nature, meaning I don't never use a guard. Clipper over comb, okay? And even when I clipper over comb, I still cut in degrees. This is a barber comb, ladies and gentlemen, okay? It's easier to achieve what you're trying to achieve with a barber comb and using clippers than it is with a hair cutting comb. The reason being is that it's going to give you more control, because the smaller it gets, the less hair you take out, the closer you get. And they're super thin, because you're getting on the scalp. So even the more hair I want to take out, I'm coming out 45, 90. So when I want to take out less hair, I come out further. When I want to take out more hair, I go in close. Okay? So, bless you. So like I said, we're going to take her out in the back. She don't need no whiskies. So I pull that hair out at a 45. Okay? And then I'm just taking the weight. Like I said, when I go across real fast, I know I'm just taking a lot of hair out. I'm just getting the hair off. When I'm starting to get detailed, that's when I'm going to come in closer, almost at 1, and I'm going to go slower. But it's still the same thing. Taking the weight out. If you get to that point and you're still uncomfortable, I suggest coming back in with your razor and just taking it out. Okay? All right, let me clean this side up and then we're going to go to this other side. Do I have any questions so far?
Longer than how you go, even though it's is it actually undercut length or you get longer?
On her, I'm going to get longer, and that's just because I know her comfort level. If she was somebody else, I would probably do even all the way out. And then like I said, once again, that would just depend on the client and their comfort, and then it will definitely lay different if it was moldy. If I'm going real close, she definitely getting moldy. What I am going to do, though, in a few minutes is, when I get to that point, I'm going to tie her down a little bit. And just, okay. But because I'm not in the position to really, like, shampoo her and get her moldy, I'm going to do this now, and then I'm going to clean it up in the shower. Yes, ma'am. So, for the most part, and then we're going to go and do the same thing on the other side, which is, she will be combed forward. Also, ladies, don't be afraid to stand in front of your client when you're cutting. I've seen that too, that some stylists, they're afraid to really get in the front of them. Even when you're doing longer cuts, bobs, or layers, you need to be able to see, and it needs to be even, it needs to be balanced. So don't be afraid to get in front of them and get in their personal space. Okay? So still, I'm going in, and I'm kind of just framing it. Watching out her shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, same thing as the other side. Just giving me a frame. And like I said, from that point, it will be on your discretion and the comfortability of you and your client, what technique you use to take that length out once you get the frame. Still zigzag carding. Because I'm coming from the opposite side, I need to be standing in front of her. Y'all remember when I did that side, I was at like a 45-degree from her occipital. That gave me the opportunity to bring that hair this way. I can do it. I gotta turn all the way around. This is more comfortable for me. I know we have some left-handed people in here too. So that would mean it would be the opposite. You standing behind her and you hitting her occipital on the right from the like a 45. Now me, I'm tilt her head, take that section, and I'm over directing it back. And I'm gonna come in and I'm point cut it out. Still. And then brush it forward. Okay? So like I said, it's just getting comfortable. It's just getting comfortable with how you hold your body and your shears. I've had some people ask me about cutting this way too. It's just comfortable for me. Some people go in and they notch this way. That makes my wrist hurt. So in my courses, I learned different ways to hold my shears. Just like I know a lot of people when they cut in the back, they always cut like this. Instant carpet tunnel. Should be palm to palm. When you cut in the back. So, let me kind of clean this up a little bit. There's a dryer in here. I sit out the dryer.
No, we don't have one.
I don't think so. Okay. Even if I feel like I still left too much hair in here, same thing. Just pull it out. Take some of it out. I'm cheap on this because I want to be able to mold her and get this to length. Because in order for me to really give her a good fade out right here in the back, I need that hair to be laying flat. Because y'all know when you blow drying, we're pulling that hair out so it's standing up, so it won't lay down. So that's why I never suggest doing a close clipper cut behind the blow dry. You always want to mold that hair. That hair needs to be laying flat because at the end of the day, your goal is a smooth, flat look. Alright? So from there, what we will do is we will go into the crown. When parting this crown, this is important. It's always, always, always important to have a guide and to cut in sections. And the whole purpose of cutting in sections is to give you control. You get a more accurate cut when you have control over your sections and you can see what you're doing, as opposed to just taking big chunks of hair and cutting them, because that's what you saw Ray and them do over on the side. Yeah, y'all laughing, but you know all this stuff. This is foundation. This is beauty school. But we get out in the industry and we start working with people that got bad habits, and you pick up their bad habits. And sometimes you gotta step back and you gotta take it back to the basics. You gotta take it back to the basics. So I'm actually gonna do 3 sections in this area here. So my first section is gonna be part ear to ear. Okay? Top of the ear. The top of the ear. Anybody got any questions so far? killing me.
You know, when I first, multicultural, one tricky part too, as far as with the neckline, is what I had to learn, was the cowlicks in the world, because everybody's pattern is different. You know, as far as when you clip or a razor or.
That's why it's important to know your tools and techniques.
You know your tools, that way if you want, because sometimes you might find some, this is like worlds back here, and you don't know if you're short enough, you know, for you.
I'm gonna suggest this, cause like I said, because I barber too, you see way more of it when you're cutting men.
They'll let you know, and the client will let you know, I got a cow, I got a world.
But even if they don't let you know, your trained eyes don't see it before you even start to cut because of the way the hair
I
is
see it, but I'm just saying that also, especially my Caucasian clients, they're all letting me know too. I got it. They touch only because I'm black African American.
Yeah.
You don't know, you know.
Yeah, they think we don't know. But at the end of the day, you know, if you cut hair, you cut hair.
Right.
I don't care if you black, white, Asian, hair is hair. The most important thing is knowing your texture. Flat, round, oval cell. I know nowadays they talking 4C, 4B, blah, blah, blah. Man, once again, I'm sticking to the basics. Flat, round, and oval cell. Okay? And like, if you know the tools and the techniques, you cutting all of them. You using all your tools. I have cut Caucasian hair and they looking at me like, wait, you not gonna, I don't need to do that, I know it. And then when I get through, they're like, nobody's ever cut my hair like that. But it makes a difference. And being confident, because I tell you what, they can smell the fear. They already hesitant when they walk in and they like, oh, it's all black stylists. But it's easier to get them to come to us than it is for us to go to them. So from that point, it's just about you making them comfortable and letting them feel that you know what you're talking about. Y'all even, I have done it before. I spin them around. See this right here? This is my license. I know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to spin them back around. I get real cocky with it. Because at the end of the day, can't nobody take that away from me, my education. I spent a lot of money to know what I know. You cannot take that away from me. And on top of that, bless hands. If you believe, you can achieve. Let's get it.
Yes.
All right, so this is the tricky part right here where a lot of stylists get lost. That occipital area. Okay? What you need to understand, every occipital area is different. Some are flat, some protrude, and some are just pretty and round. Like, oh, she got the perfect head for short hair. Then you got some that are lopsided. Like me, mine is lopsided. Where my, which is it? I think my left side is flatter than my right side. So that's when you really need to know techniques for texture. Okay? And partings. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do pie-shaped partings. We're gonna do pie-shaped partings because from the crown, everything is gathered in the center. But because her occipital was round, it spreads, correct? So on top of that, that's gonna be, this area here is gonna be my guide for the rest of this haircut. This area here is where you distinguish your cut. Do you want her to have a whole lot of fullness back here? Or do you want it to come out and come in at a 45 and then come back out into a tail? Or do you want it to spike up in the top and be heavy in the front? This is where it starts, in her crown. Okay? That's why I like to be facing y'all around. Start now. Pie-shaped partings. Also, depending on how that occipital protrudes will determine how big your partings are, your pie-shaped partings are. So the wider the occipital, the wider the pie partings. Okay?
So your parting is going from the crown
I'm about to
down
show
to the occipital?
I'm sorry?
And then your parting is going from the crown down to the occipital bone?
Yes, we are going from the crown, cause in the crown, your crown is your center, and then we did ear to ear to section it off, because that's the center, we want equal amounts of hair in the back as well as in the front. And then like I said, this particular section right here in her crown is gonna be your guide for the entire haircut. We gotta get a little magic too, right? I get to go in and cut her as close as I wanted to cut. So we starting at pie shape part. Okay? But you see that it's, cause it's even like if when we were doing roller sets, and then you coming down, you got the rolls, and then when you start to get to the side, you like, ain't enough hair. You're down to the, ain't enough hair, what am I supposed to do? And that's just because you following the shape of the head, okay? And you have to remember, you want that hair to flow with the shape of her head. Ain't nothing worse than, I remember back in the day when we was doing stack curls and folks didn't know what to cut back here, and then it'd be smushed in, it'd be flat right here, and then it'd be big right here. But if you were good and you were creative, you'd be like, girl, I did that on purpose. She sharp, she ready, like, we doing it. Now, I'm also going to say this, because this is the type of haircut that it is, me personally, at this point, I would do another section right up under her occipital. And the only reason I'm doing that is basically just giving me more control over the cut. Okay? But you're doing that pie shaping, and then this is where you make that decision too. Like I said, do she want it to come in and hug her up under that occipital and then flare out in the bottom? Or do we want that fullness and we want it to be even straight down? The answer to that is still going to be, even with the pie shape partings. Stop trying to help me, girl. Just be still. She used to getting whoopings. It's like if I wanted it to be even all the way down, I would pull it out of the 90. We're just doing straight up, even, all the way down. And the other thing that's going to do is that's going to give her more texture up in here, because that's pretty much layers, is it not? If it's just even at a 90. So that's going, if you want a whole lot of texture in there, you're going to do it out at a 90, and you're going to go in and you're going to point cut. If you want it to hug in here, if you do it at a 45, or you can do it at a 90. Even if you're doing it at a 90, if you're doing it at a 90, you're not standing right behind. Okay? If you're doing it at a 90, you need to be standing on the side of it so you can see. And you're going to come up under, and you're going to point cut that hair. Okay? So if that's what I was doing, if that's what was the look that we wanted, we would just cut up here first. Okay? So because, like I said, I don't want to traumatize her and cut too much, we're going to cut her at a 90 back. Okay? And that's just going to give her more fullness around her occipital. Is everybody following me? Am I, doing okay? I don't want to move nobody or...
What if your occipital is flat?
If
Would you bring that bottom section up a little bit higher, or would you just angle it more at 45, or would you just
Okay, good question. If the occipital was flat, once again, it would depend on what my end goal is. If I really wanted to have I want to answer this several different ways, so I'm trying to, because me personally, if I was just cutting it, I would just cut it out. We wouldn't have had no discussion about it. But because I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm trying to think of the proper way to say this without losing you. If we want more of a tail, you can pull it up.
if the occipital is flat?
If the occipital is flat, then I would give more angle, more,
45?
yes. Because then you're going towards 180. Because when you first start out, you 45, 90, 180. So you're going closer to a 180. You won't be a full 180 because a 180 would be coming all the way down. but you're going closer to a 180. So the more hair you want right in the occipital, the further down you want to go. The closer you want a sharper angle. Does that make sense? Did I answer? If you got the hook, for me, I think that would have a lot to do with texture. Because I had a client that had a protruding occipital. And because I was able to actually take her in closer on her occipital because it was protruding, it just gave the look. And she had a thick braid of hair. So it looked fuller even though it was extremely close because her occipital protruded. Okay. That's good? So, we're going to finish the rest of this section back here. And like I said, we're still doing pie-shaped partings. Now, the biggest trick to this too is you're doing a traveling guide. I remember I always use a guide. But now you're using a traveling guide. Okay, when you use that traveling guide, you need to kind of be able to see it. Okay? The purpose of the traveling guide is, once again, we're getting shorter as we go on the side. The shorter hair push the longer hair. So on this side here, on the sides of her head, it's going to be shorter, which means it's going to push all her long hair in this center and give her that fullness. Okay? Well, we're doing the pie-shaped partings because we want to take less hair here and more hair here because she's round down there. That make sense? And I'm still doing at 90. I'm still point cutting. And I'm point cutting because I want her to have softness. All the way around to the ear. Same thing. Traveling guide. Following that guide all the way around. All the way around. So when I comb it back, you can see. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see. Shorter here, longer here, because we use the traveling guide. Okay? And that's why I said that's going to give her all that fullness in the middle. So then you're just going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Pie-shaped partings. Point it out. Traveling guide. 90 degrees. I'm trying to be mad for y'all and not come past that level. I got so many more ones on my knuckles. I don't know if y'all know, I'm like super animated. That's my old coworker right there. She'll tell you. I be like, I can't help it. But I tell you what it did do. Once upon a time, I worked in a salon that was inside of a beauty supply store. Best salon I ever worked in. It was small. It was ghetto. But I made so much money in there. And the reason being is because them women would be in there trying to buy product. And we had windows in there too. And I'd be in there too. You could feel them looking at you. So you get your body right, you just. promise you, I hated when I left up out of there. But yeah, all that show off too came from just platforming. So a lot of it is just habit now. And the other thing too is, if you work in an open floor salon, everybody's clients watch you. They watch you. And then they jump chairs. But teamwork makes the dream work. That's another thing I see. We ain't working as teams no more. Everybody is just like, I want her to see what I'm doing. Y'all better share that information. Each one teach one, get these babies because they clueless. They clueless. They clueless. And they killing the industry. So instead of me taking your client, I'm gonna teach you how to fish. And we go get it together. Alright, let's get this other section. I showed just make myself too. Showing off for y'all. Y'all play too. Alright. So, but y'all see how it's coming in, right? Okay. So at this point, coming down to that bottom section, the tail is it. Now, if we want the length, the more length I want, the opposite direction I'm gonna go.
Can you turn it?
She asked me to do it, not you. Dang. So, if she did was okay with a little bit of length, I could still take it down and do it the opposite way, 45, 90, 180. But if we want more length, we can pull it up and take it out and have it meet that original guide at the top. Okay? I want to keep her there, so I'm gonna pull her up. Knock her right up. And still. Tie shape carton. Pulling that hair up. How'd you do that? Diamond guide. Pulling it up. How'd you do that? Now, I'm gonna show y'all. I left that there on purpose because I'm gonna show y'all another cheat method too. At this particular point, pulling that hair in, you can do several different things. Well, a couple different things, not several. You could either take this hair out and still following this guide here. You can take it out and you can either notch it, okay, and make it go however you want it. If you want it fuller in the back or you want it to come to more in the point. Or just grab that razor, still follow your guide over here, and just slide it on there. Okay? Slide it on there. Slide it on there. Okay? Just giving you a couple different ways to cut it. That's what's like. It's up to you at this point. There is no, I don't feel like there's no real set cut. As long as you got the foundation and the concept, make the cut your own. That's the point of learning tools and techniques and textures, so that you can put your own thing on there, and then you name it, and go on and trademark it if you want to. All right, let's attack this top real quick. Can I get a Band-Aid? I told y'all I nicked myself showing off for y'all. I just want, while she's doing that, I just need y'all to see, so you can see up in the cut. You see the texture. You see how it's falling. You see the fullness. You see the angles. And like I said, if she had been molded, I would just take this, take up in here, get it real close, right there at the bottom. But I don't know if y'all can see too, because it was blow dried, it's sticking straight out. Just stick it straight out. So it wouldn't be smart for me to really cut it, because then I could cut it too close. Okay.
And this came from a hairstylist, so she's prepared. She just happened to have some, that's awesome.
I love you for that.
Okay.
I usually don't leave home without them. Thanks, Mom.
No problem, daughter.
Y'all know they got some finger guards now. Those stylists like me, they be showing off all the time. All right, now in here, this can get tricky too. We still using this as a guide. Okay? Like I said, I did have a few of y'all who never cut a mohawk before. This is pretty much the same concept as doing a mohawk. So here's where you're gonna make more decisions as well. Okay? We're going to make this hair match this hair. So at this point, you want to decide, does she want to just have it full back here? Does she want to be able to spike it? Does she want a lot of layers in the front? Is she real fine and she wants her length in the front, but she wants a lot of layers in the front? That's when you determine how you want to use your guide in the crown. Okay? With her, because she's kind of fine in the front, I want to give her some layer, but I don't want to give her a deep layer, because that would take away from her length and thin her out even more. So we selling illusions at this point, so we want to give her the illusion of fullness, right? So I would start out, once again, we traveling the guide. But here's my guide here, you see it fall? So I'm going to pull my guide up to the crown, and then I'm going to cut at a 45. Because, remember I said I want to keep her length in the front. Now, if I was trying to give her a little more detail in the crown and keep her length, I would bring my crown hair down to my guide, as opposed to bringing my guide up. That make sense? Now in here, this is the only time when I'll stop doing point cutting, because I don't want to give her too much texture up in here because she's so fine. So I'm just going in and cutting her blunt. Okay? Same thing. I'm still kind of cutting at an angle, right? So this is definitely a 45-90 haircut all the way around. That's why it's important to know your angles. You're doing degrees and elevation on the side to tell you how close you want it. You're using different tools to let you know how you want them sides to lay. And then in your top, you just going in and you're doing mostly angles. Okay? So I'm taking her up and angling my fingers, even though I'm still kind of using my traveling guide. Now, because I said I wanted to keep her length in the front, I'm gonna over direct it forward. Okay, that's gonna keep her length. If I just wanted to do just straight more layering in here, I just take it all up at a 90 and make it even. Because when it falls, shorter in the crown, longer in the front. If I want less layers, then I'm just kind of pulling it back and angling my fingers.
Are you still using pie shape parting?
No, actually, because she's pretty much even here. So remember when we parted her, we did one huge, like horseshoe, okay? So she gets even here. So no need for pie shape parties in the crown. We're just doing parallels. But always following the guide. And because her front, I failed to tell y'all that, because her front was actually shorter than what was happening in her crown, when I over direct, I'm coming forward. But I'm not taking length, I'm just kind of cleaning her up in the front. Okay? Yeah, I'm in the way here. But it's still pretty much the same thing. So I'm no longer really kind of angling my finger, because I have a guide. So I don't really need to do that anymore. That make sense? Now,
And you over direct when you come to the.
when I come to the
right
side,
Uh-huh.
sometimes I do, and sometimes I just push them all the way over. And that'll allow me to come up, as opposed to me trying to angle my body and over direct. That make sense? Okay, so, after I cut that, still following this guide, just like if you were doing a bob, and you know how, I don't know, y'all might not know, I do my bobs in 4 sections as well. But at that point, you're doing diagonal partings. But I'm pulling this hair from the front to reach my hair in the back. Because one more time, short hairs push the long hairs, right? So, when I'm doing this here, because y'all can see where the major disconnect is, correct? So at this time, we're trying to blend it, right? So, we start to bring this hair back here to this guide again. To the guide. Okay? Back to your angle though. I'm doing a 45 because I want that hair to do this. So we back at a 45, but we're bringing this back to this, all the way up. This is my guide. Okay? See? So all I did was take this section and pull it back to that guide. Took this section, pull it back to the guide. Okay? Sometimes too, depending on texture, you still may have to go up under and check it. Make sure that hair meets that guide. Okay? Then it's the same thing, opposite side. Crown the hairline, following that guide back here. It's still there.
Those the 7 inches, 7 inches?
No, these are my six.
Oh, 6, okay.
Yeah, these my hand goes, my favorite. These my they dangerous. Actually, my most dangerous ones is them Damascus, man. They just, but they real heavy. So I do typically use those when I'm cutting really thick hair. And I don't show off as much with those. But they so sharp. That's my favorite finger. You also see, whenever I get ready to go in and cut, I adjust my body. It makes a difference as well too, as far as the longevity of your day. And being able to see. And there sometimes it's just happy. But I'm gonna use it today. here. Put it in the back. Use my guide. I'm cutting it. Now, I'll ask you guys this so y'all can see this. So even though I took this hair and I pulled it back to make it reach my guy back here and get it to blend, because she has damage right there, you can see the hole. You see the hole? Okay. With that hole, that would mean that's when I know I need to come up under here and get this to match that. Okay? So at this point, too, you just kind of going back and you checking your cut. Because it's nothing for us to follow the guidelines, and then it's one or two pieces of hair off, and then you go back in, you try to re-follow the cut, and you cut too much. That's another reason why it's important to cut in front of the mirror. So you can see all of that, so you can know exactly where to catch it, so you don't overcut. But then that's when they start tripping. I went in there, she got all scissors, having all my hair off. Like, that'll be cool, you needed that. Alright. That's like too when they were talking about how many in poetry and when last time we had one. I really got like 12 inches of raggedy. I gotta get rid of it. You making me look bad. And I'll tell them in a minute, if I see you in the street and you look like you ain't loved, we gonna have a problem. So still balancing and checking. So now I'm kind of combing that hair at a natural fall. So I can check this cut. And see my imperfections and know where to go in and clean. Okay? So you're going to do the foundation of the cut, then you come back in and you clean it. I only want a clean cut. Because I'm definitely a procedure. You know, you go to the cut parties and they just like, they just chopping the mess out of some hair. Then when the clients get ready to restyle it, they don't know where to start and stop. So, that being said, when I'm combing it out, I definitely want a deeper angle here. I want to clean this here. Y'all see that? Would y'all do the same thing? Okay. Same thing over here. I want a little deeper angle here. I want to clean here. But I still want it to be kind of even so she can wear. When we get done with this, because she can either wear what's called like that baby bob. She got an undercut underneath. If she decides she want to swoop it all over to one side and with a bang, she can. If she decides she want to swoop it to the other way, she can because she even on both sides. If she still want to be like everybody else and she want to do the waves on the side and the curls in the front, she's in a position to do that. And so that's another thing when making the clients comfortable with that cut and that transition, because a lot of my people, when they come to get a cut from me, it's a total makeover. They come in with this much hair and we taking them to this. So it's always important to make them feel comfortable with what you're doing. And that goes into explaining. This is why I'm doing what I did. And before I put any heat to it, I turn them to the mirror. I let them open their eyes. She laughed because she knows, because I always just be like, just relax. Just relax and let me do what it is I can do. And they usually close their eyes and they let me do. And then I'm going to show them, this is what this do. This is doing this. This is doing that. I ain't putting no heat to your hair. You can rock this cut. Okay? Some of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them still dated. Like, can you curl that piece of hair right here? Like, girl, if you just rock the cut, you'll live a happier life. We talk get up and go. So, and then just like I said, just letting them understand that the cut is versatile, and that allows them the option to come back to you. Because if not, I cut it, and she come see you, and you can't curl it because you don't know what I did. She need to come back, holding your clients. So that's another reason why it's important to put your own spin to it. Just like with color. We always taught, mix your own colors. Get your own formula. So when she go to her, she don't know what color it is. Oh, I think she did cherry. Girl, what is that? Right. Honey, oh my God, ain't that the favorite one? She was doing honey blonde. Like, girl, get away from me with all of that. What is you talking about? I thought it was just me. I wish I could have had like shampoo and everything so y'all could have got the full effect.
They had a dryer.
Yeah, if they had a dryer, I could just really did the whole thing for you guys. I do apologize. But my main goal here was to make sure you guys got tools, techniques, and textures, and understood the concept of the cut and be able to implement it in the salon. Have I done that? Have I given y'all enough to, to be able to go back to the shop? Yeah, y'all tell them. Tell them, bring her back. I'll come back. So I really, like I said, I just really want you guys to get back to the artistry of cutting. Get back to the artistry of being a cosmetological entrepreneur. Alright, because I don't know what's happening to our industry, but it's hurting my heart, and we need to take it back. The biggest thing is, you hear clients say, it's a lot of y'all in Atlanta. But then you want to come and sit in my chair and say, but my bangs don't grow. Well, heck, if you quit going to see Susie and Mary and then coming back to me, we can get you some bangs. Even though we all have similar styling, every stylist is their own artist. You got your hands and I got mine. So what I use and what I do is always going to be different from what she do, and what she do. We can stand right here in a row, do the same exact haircut. But as long as each one of them clients got different textures, as long as each one of them clients are not identical twins, triplets, and quadruplets, that hairstyle is going to look different. But the biggest thing is knowing your tools, knowing techniques, and identifying them textures, and getting your money. Because when you know it, you get confident. When you're confident, you charge more money. It ain't rocket science. We've been doing this for too long. I'm looking at y'all, and I'm guessing it ain't nobody in here with less than 10 years of experience. That's what I thought. So y'all only in here because y'all thought I was doing something different. I ain't did nothing y'all didn't already know. There. Taking it back to basics. You already got it. You already got it. Put it back out. Even to this day, sometimes I will pull out my Lady book. Because we all know that was the Bible. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to re-identify with what I'm confused about. And I'm going to take it to the head. Every time. You can't go wrong. You cannot go wrong. Now, once again, for the most part, y'all see the cut. Like I said, I wish I could get it to be precise. Y'all want me to curl it? Bump to it?
It is freezing in here.
But as long as y'all can see, she got a slight layer right in the front, okay? And the reason she got this slight layer, like I said, it's because her hair is so fine, but I wanted to give her some texture and some depth without taking out her length or making it look even thinner, okay? So now you know I'm gonna have to have you. All right, so like I said, this might not be precision, but I really, like I said, I wanted y'all to get the idea. Okay, yeah. So like I said before, this stuff right here, soft hold. I didn't think I would ever use spritz again unless I was doing weed. They just got, they like, girl, try to hold that. So I always go through my spritz. It smells good too, but y'all spray it. It smells good. But it's real, real light. So far too, I just kind of bump it because I want her to have, I still want her to have the flow and the movement. You can make that tail go any way you want it to go. Y'all wanna feel that? That's I spritz it. You come up and feel the I spritz it. That's you feel the alcohol in it out. And the only thing I used her, because I relaxed her Friday, but the only product that I used on her, because her hair is fine, it holds on to the oil, but I'm still very sparing, and I use the cream shine. And I used very little because I didn't want to weigh her hair down because I knew what we were doing today. Before I flat iron. So actually, with the blow dryer, no, I didn't do that on her. I did the blow dryer first. On her with the finer hair, it's just a little bit. But when I did the young lady with the natural hair, I saturated. I sectioned it and I saturated it. And it helped me detangle and get a nice, smooth blow dry. Bitch, I got pictures and I just did y'all right. Yes. I don't know if that y'all know we be having it. I can't be posting no fake pictures. A lot of clients too that ask, I use my ceramics and I still use my Marseille. Depends on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling. So, this one, this is Pro Fashion. This is Pro Fashion. This is H2 Pro. And then about this is my go-to. And then I have the smaller, even the little bitty one to do short hair. I'm old school, so I'm still, I pull the Marcells out, put some designs in the back of your head. Y'all remember back in the day when we were short, big curly W, stuff out. Yeah, we sculpted hair back then. Yeah. By all means, ladies, get yourself something to eat. While I knock these curls out real quick, unless y'all have some questions for me. I mean, ask away. I don't have any problems asking anything. And like I said, if later on you think of something and, reach out to me. I'm not hard to approach. Whenever somebody asks me to do it. So I used to be a platform artist for Avalon. I worked the Midwest region, Centonics line. So I did Illinois, Indiana, St. Louis, Wisconsin, Michigan. Yeah, I mean, I also offer one-on-one. Yeah, I do one-on-one, and then even if you just, got a quick question, you need to come down, see me. My door is, okay, let me quit lying, it ain't always open, because y'all got no clients, they ain't coming to work. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But, yes, a matter of fact, you'll take one cash. But yeah, it's easier to catch me if you like DM me or something or text me. Because like I said, if I don't know the number, I ain't answering the phone. The whole world is trying to steal me stuff, and I ain't bad. So, but, yeah, just reach out to me, and if I don't know the answer, we'll figure it out together. I love to share, and like I told y'all in the beginning of this class, I'm a class junkie. I got so much information in my head sometimes, it just makes me sick. Oh, really? That's my book right there. That's my book. What does she do tonight? That is a good question. Now, she can rap it. Normally when I talk to my clients, I'm like, you ain't gotta rap it. You gotta just cut, go deep. I'm an insomniac, which means I take something to go to sleep. So, whenever, however, wherever I fall asleep, that's what it is. Because I ain't tying down here. And I'm menopausal. Y'all laughing, but it's real. And that means, man, that stuff get hot. So, you know you already.
Is it really warm in here right now?
You wonder how your hair tied up. But I have to tie my hair up there over 20 years.
I turned the
If you have a cut, go to bed. Just go to bed. When you're tied up, sometimes it makes the cut even more disconnected because certain parts are flat and certain parts aren't, and then they want to get up and try to flat iron it and try to make it look like what we did, and it makes it more difficult for them. So for her personally, I would just be like, brush your sides, and you can tie it down.
But they don't come later. But you just gave this whole.
Let me see. These right here. I live by it. One of the biggest retail items in my salon. Okay? And it's the wide head. That's when you get out of the supply store. Sleeping, working out, the shower, whatever. She just gonna brush the sides, tie it down. When she gets ready to get in the shower, if she wants more volume here, I always tell them, take a couple rollers. Old school. Take a couple rollers and put it in the crown and wrap the rest of it. Okay? When you get out the shower, if you still doing this, to the mirror, it's too soon to untie that hair. The body temperature is still up. So go ahead, lotion up, put your clothes on, put your makeup on, drink your coffee, beat your kids, whatever your morning routine is. Last thing you do, untie that hair. Take them rollers out. The moisture from in the air is what makes the hair hold that roller. So she don't need to put no more product in. Let that hair dry, because we all know, however it dries, that's what it's going to do. So if you sweat and it dry, stick it straight out, I don't care how many times you flat iron it, it's going to dry, it's going to be sticking out. You got to shampoo the sweat out and get it. So I always tell them, just that simple. And then because if you got to do it, she can run her fingers through it at that point. Or take her feather comb and rake through it. But nobody's wearing a tight curl. So it's all in the cut. And that's why they need us. And then like I said, also, if she decides she want to switch it up, like I said, we gave her the option. You want to wear it to one side, you want to wear it straight down, whatever you want to do. Don't put a lot of product in it. You can do that. It's the cut is going to change. Oh, good job. Even if I had shampooed and molded her, these type of styles here, I just kind of run through and do a real quick bump because I know when I run my fingers through it, that hair just gonna fall where I need it to fall because I cut it how I wanted it to fall. forget, ladies, they're offering CEU hours. It's 19 is a renewal year. Go ahead and get your hours.
Yep, that way you'll be ahead of the game instead of behind. Yep, we are
Get
ready.
your hours. And I think they have some deals on this KMD.
Yes, we do.
I didn't know what to expect. And it was like, oh, try this out. I was like, alright. When I got there, like,
Yes, ma'am.
I tried it. Okay, girl, I like that. Love. Two biggest things that impressed me. 3. The conditioner, the moisturizer conditioner. That blow dry spray. Yeah, cause when I tell y'all that girl came to me at the last minute, and y'all know whenever they come in with hair